Welcome to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 24th of October 2024. I hope you're travelling particularly well. Looking forward to catching up with all of the team and finding out all about greyhound racing around this fine nation over the next few nights. Joining us to open up, as he does each and every week here on the program, the Shane Train Williams. Hello, Train.
Good morning, listeners. How are you today, mate?
Going very well indeed. Thank you, Shano. Fresh back from what was a very big few days across there in New South Wales. Of course, Friday night, the $1 Million Chase. A lot of success for the WA chasers, but just a spectacular night of greyhound racing there at Sydney's headquarters.
Yeah, it really was, Shorty. It was a bit like going back in time. There was a lot of people there, and we're up there in the VIP area, and it rained. I didn't even know it rained, but yeah, apparently there was a bit of rain around there, Shorty. I was around talking to a lot of people and just had a really good time, and the racing was sensational, and we've seen some very smart chasers out on the track as well. Yeah,
most definitely. It was a very enjoyable night. As I touched on, really good success throughout the course of the evening. Crystal and Steve Shinners had a very good time of it, of Transcendent taking out the Young Star Consolation final from box number 3. La Sagrada was runner-up in the Young Stars final itself, and then a little bit deeper on into the program, Miss Envy from box number 8 taking out the $1 Million Chase Consolation final. And in the feature itself, the $1 Million Chase, Sunset Frazier for Dave Hobby, doing a good job finishing there in third position behind Blue Camaro, the Victorian. Big result for Josh Formoso. We were talking about it on the night, Shano, but big effort for Josh. This is a life-changing result for a kennel like his.
Yeah, 100%, Shorty. I think I've read a little bit into it after the event. He only trains 2 dogs, so him and his partner have 2 dogs each, and they train out of the Daily establishment in Victoria, so no doubt that's going to set them up in future for the greyhound racing, and a remarkable performance by the dog. Not sure why he was such a big price. You found him early on in might have been the heat or the semi when he went around the big odds. He'd coming off a 29.60 at Meadows, and although he didn't have the Wentworth Park experience under his belt, I suppose that was the only thing, but early speed in big finals, we talk about it all the time, Shorty, and he got the camp on Sunset Frazier last week, and yeah, he was just too strong. And then had to hold off the strong finishing Zipping Megatron, who we know has a really good back split. So it was a really good night, and yeah, we're privileged to be there and witness it all.
Absolutely. Exploded really good too, taking out the Sydney Cup final for the Stays, defeating Ellis Babe and Bandit Darrell. But a huge night, and big thanks to everyone there. It was just a special evening. It was great to catch up with Dave Simonetti, trackside, absolute stalwart of our industry, represents our code so very well at those national meetings. It was lovely to spend some time with him, and well done to all of the reps that threw their hat in the ring. Of course, it wasn't to be for Bezecchi, but on the way through, the dog recorded the second fastest time ever over the 520 metres there at Wentworth Park, and that's something to be pretty proud of for Paul Stewart and the connections there with Bezecchi. So I'm sure we'll see more of that dog in the months upcoming. Let's see if we can't find a winner or two for the punters over the next little patch here, Shano. We'll get you to have a look at the Great Western, and also we've got the Group 2 All-Stars to look forward to this weekend here locally, but we'll start off with the Great Western on a Friday night there at Mandurah. Should be a really good race. Certainly saw some tremendous heats of this particular series there last week. Every time we seem to have these WA bred sort of style of races in recent times, really does come to the fore just how much depth there is in WA greyhound racing. And with the scratching of our Aussie Opal from box number 5, Sunset Ali is now into favouritism at $2.15 and becomes pretty hard to beat in the feature.
Yeah, absolutely, Shorty. We always talk about the depth that we have here. This is a WA bred race over the 400 metres, so we cater for everything here in the West. And just looking at the race, Shorty, there's a lot of heat in the kitchen on the inside boxes here, boxes 1, 2, 3. All went quick early last week, and unfortunately only one of them is going to be able to find the arm. I thought there was a lot of chances in the race, Shorty, but I come back to another James. I'm very, very hard to catch these dogs of Ian Bunnies for myself. They win a lot, but I sort of can't catch them. But I just thought, when you go back looking at his form, 22-25, 4 starts ago, Shorty, got the start right that time in 6:22 early, but also the run-home time of 10:73. Some of these dogs like Ned and Apache Havoc and Bo Cruz, they're running the 6:20s, but their run-home times are not as good as that. So it's a dog that has to get the start right to win, obviously, but we can see even if he gets up there, that strong section at the back end is going to make him hard to beat. Like I said, I thought What a Ripper was a sneaky hope as well out wide. Could follow another James over. Let us down in the taxi last week on the way back, Shorty, for that last leg of the All Up, unfortunately, when we thought he would have had Ned Cold, but it wasn't to be. But, yeah, it's a very difficult race to dissect. I just thought a lot of speed early, 1, 2, 3. And now Sunset Ali gets the run, Shorty. He's becoming very costly to follow. He's got a big reputation to live up to. He's run some fast times there, and we know he had a bit of time off. And since he's come back, he's been winless, but he's been thereabouts. But even a runner-up 3 back to our Benson in 22-29 would seem hard to beat. But I think he dapped a little bit. Did you say $2.15?
Yeah, and at this stage, the only scratching is the 5, so it'd be coming from the squeeze draw. So there's plenty of speed in the race. Wouldn't be still an easy task, and served up at a fairly trim quote.
Yeah, I wouldn't be taking $2.15 about him for sure from box 5 in that race, but he may drift. But yeah, I just thought very hard race. I'm happy to play. What prices are they, Shorty? 6 and 7. Another
James at $6.50, and What a Ripper at $4.20.
Yeah, so yeah, I just like them two in a wide open race. Did you have an opinion on it, mate?
Look, I thought it was a very open race. I'd be probably looking to find a dog to anchor up for a rove in the races. Generally, when I sort of try and play these races when they're very open like this, and a dog that potentially appeals to me in that space is probably Bo Cruz around that 650 mark. A dog that runs over longer distances as a rule. It'll be hitting the line really hard. And 15 of 21 to this point's been hitting the frame. So maybe a rove with Bo Cruz and go wide. There's a number of winning hopes, a lot of early pace. Bo Cruz is that dog that'll be really strong late in the piece, hitting the frame and hopefully getting us a nice result, particularly if we can see something at a bit of odds that does win the race. But the fact that at the moment they're all in single figures except for number 10 Aussie Gem tells us that it's a really open affair.
Yeah, well, he did have his first run back last week for 4 months, so you would think there'd be a little bit of improvement there, and we have seen him up over the 488 and 500 metre trips, so yeah, wouldn't be knocking him for a rover bet, that's for sure.
Indeed. All right, well, let's have a look as well at the other of the features this weekend. Saturday night out there at Mandurah shapes up as being another very good program. And, gee, these 3 heats last week were elite. Some of our absolute rolled gold stars were on show throughout the course of the evening. It's left us with a very, very steamy final, it must be said. Race number 3, Emerald Guard at $2.35 in the 2 Wise Barra. We'll get up the track, give it plenty of room. It's at $15. Daddy's Girl at $26. Bungee Man $20. Malfetta Cruise at $4.60. My Anarchy Boy from box 6 at $2.60. Burglemere at $23. Sunset Nightjar at $9.50. The first reserve is Sunset Peppy at $8 and Arbolino a $23 chance. Emerald Guard maps to get an absolutely glorious run here with Wise Barra in box 2, likely to get right up the track. Emerald Guard, not a brilliant beginner, but should get that, with that room, be able to punch up, hold a really nice position mid-race. And from there, as we saw last week, it's very strong. Very few times have we seen anything get underneath My Anarchy Boy, and it's exactly what Emerald Guard managed to do last week.
Yeah, unlike the race on Friday night, Shorty, this is a race that probably hasn't got a lot of early speed with the exceptional Wise Barra there, so you expect it to sort of clear out in front. And Daddy's Girl can show speed on occasions, and Bungee Man did show a bit of speed last week, but I thought in a wide open race as well. I thought the red was rock bottom odds, can definitely win, but I thought it was sort of rock bottom odds. I'll come back to the old boy Malfetta Cruz, Shorty. I just think, Nick's got him back now, and he was done a great job with Eric. And last start he was runner up to Emerald Guard, but he did have a week off there leading up to that. And pound for pound, there's a lot of good dogs in this race, and a lot of good dogs with Mandurah. Good records at Mandurah, but I just thought Malfetta Cruz, 27-15 when runner-up last week, can probably roll forward and sit outside, Wise Barrel sit behind it and be the first one there to pounce. And, I thought it would be very hard to beat. A 460 seems very appealing to me, and maybe even Sunset Nigel. I know he's probably not well drawn out in 8, but just got something about this dog. I've followed him all the way through, and I think 950 is probably worth a spec each way as well. You sounds like you're keen on Emerald Guard, Shorty.
Oh, I just think it maps to get a glorious run. The price isn't overly enticing, but I can understand why it is what it is. There's not very few times that you have a race put on for you in this manner. Dog that's drawn at its right favourite track, right box, with a dog that gets up the track drawn outside, gets all the ticks. It's up against good quality opposition, but it was the fastest qualifier. Now it gets all of the right sort of advantages within the race. So I can understand why it's popular, and I think
we do talk about box winning finals all the time, don't we? And just looking at his record here, he's won 11 races, and they've all been at Mandurah.
Yeah. And it loves a cherry. It's exactly where it draws. If it's going to win a big Group 2, this is the one. Morgan Turner will have it. Cherry Ripe's hard to beat. Don't leave Bungee Man out. $20. One of the rank outsiders. He can hit the frame here. It's going really well at the moment for Enzo Credelli, and it's one that I'll be definitely including for trifectas and first fours. Yeah,
my Anarchy boy, although he's drawn awkward, Shorty, he's a really good dog at Mandurah, and his win last week. Well, I actually watched the race and Bungee Man was in front. I thought, we might struggle to pick him up, but he just went straight past him. Bungee Man's no easy dog to get past when he's eyeballing in front. But my boy, he's got a V8 engine there, and when he gets room to be left alone and finds the rail, he can really rattle home as well. They both, him and Emerald Guard, were the only two dogs to break the 11 in the run home last week. So you wouldn't want them anywhere near if you're in front turning for home, Shorty.
No, it's going to be an absolute ripper, as it is each and every year. The Group 2 All-Stars final out there at Mandurah. Good luck, whoever you decide on having a punt with. Let's get back to our man, the Shane Train Williams, see if he can find us a winner for this Northern program later on this afternoon into this evening. Train, what are you thinking of Thursday night chasing there for Northern tonight?
Yeah, well, we've got the heats of the dart, Shorty, and discussed with the boys today on the breakfast radio show. Is there a better named race anywhere in Australia? And the boys come up with a few, the horse races, the Bat Out of Hell and the Flat Knacker. I couldn't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, obviously blink and you miss. There's 3 heats of them tonight up at Northern, and I'm going to get involved in every single one of them, Shorty, tonight. I
like it. Yeah, head to the short course specialist for tonight. Train, take us through your better bets.
Yeah, going to kick it off race 8, number 6, Obsessed Much, Shorty. We sat there and watched him last week. It was a tragedy beat. Jumped in front and got taken off at the first turn. One thing about this dog, Shorty, he knows every bit of sand on that Burwood Park circuit. He's very honest. And more importantly, he's very reliable at box rides. So I think he'll kick us off a winner, Obsessed Much, race 8, number 6.
Very nice. Race 8, number 6. On to the second of the dart heats, race number 9.
Yeah, race 9, number 5, Rexy Hunter, Shorty's generally goes around on a Monday at $1.20, $1.30. He's in these heats here, and he's struck the other king of Northern, Simplicity, up there, Shorty. And these dogs have met once before, and this was a similar scenario. Rex Hunter had drawn underneath Simplicity, and he held him out to the turn and beat him. And I think it's going to be a similar thing tonight. And what a cracking race it's going to be, win, lose or draw. And Rex Hunter is just a winning machine, and so Simplicity. They've both been great dogs, and I think they'll fight it out again tonight, Shorty. But with the draw advantage, I'm going to go Rex Hunter tonight, race 9, number 5, our second selection.
Yeah, makes sense. Rex Hunter, 14 starts track and trip, 10 wins, 3 seconds and a third. And Simplicity, 25 starts track and trip, 18 wins, 1 second, 3 thirds. So 22 of 25 and 14 of 14 tells you all you need to know about the consistency of that duo. And race number 10, are you teaming up with Herbie here at the Shorts in the last of these legs?
I Am Shorty. He's going to be the best of them tonight. He could be the new kid on the block. He defeated them last week from the 8 box on their merits, and he's a dog we've seen Shorty run sensational early splits, both at Northern and Mandurah. He can run the hands off the clock himself, and the low draw suits him very well. So I said to the boys this morning, Shorty, if all these dogs make the final, it's going to be a cracking final next week. And I know it's not worth a lot of money, and a lot of people don't follow the 300-metre racing, but when all these good dogs line up in the final, geez, it's going to be a lot of gas to that first turn.
You're spot on. Yeah, it could be anything. So looking forward to these three all getting through tonight. We'll be teaming up, and it looks like some nice multi-business to my eye. Race 8, number 6, Obsess Much. Race 9, number 5, Rex Hunter. Race 10, number 2, Go Get 'em Herbie. That's tonight there at Northam. Beautifully done, Shano. We'll hear from you again tomorrow morning on the Sports Daily with, I think it's Diggers and Alex Vlahos tomorrow morning. So you'll be teaming up with those two gentlemen round about 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be tuning in right here on TAB Radio, and you can fill us in on your thoughts for Friday night chasing at Mandurah.
Sounds like fun, mate, and then we'll team up in the Jet Set a couple of hours later.
Yes, great to have it back tomorrow afternoon, the Jet Set podcast. Beautifully done, Train. Appreciate your time as always. Another man that we can look forward to his company on the Jet Set, and was fortunate enough to spend some time with him one-on-one across there in Sydney town. He's an even better man in person than what he is on the radio, and that's saying something. It's great to be catching up with Jace Campbell here on Great Greys on this Thursday. G'day, JC.
Could say the same about yourself and Train, Shorty. It was very enjoyable to catch up with the both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of fun there last Thursday night, in particular, catching up for a couple of drinks. And the office, I think, was the name of the place. Nice place to drop in for a coldie and a punt there over in Sydney town.
Yeah, it helps when all expenses are paid for, thanks to yourself and the Train. So I got a way of murder not paying for a drink on that occasion. Just had to get home for I actually had my car with me, so I couldn't drink too much, obviously. But it was good to catch up also on MDC night. Yeah,
most definitely. Really nice to see you, mate. Spent some times with you. You paid your way too. Found us winners, as you always do, on that Thursday night. And that's what you're here to do once again for this program today. It was a great weekend, but there's still tremendous chasing to look forward to all over the place. Take us through a few winners up there in Queensland and potentially down in Tassie as well for tonight, please.
Race 1, number 9. Sweetest of all. Scratching here of Shortte in box 7 has really opened this race up. I think Sweetest of all will be really hard to beat in this contest. She now enters box 7, or will exit box 7. 2 starts ago, she was over this track a trip, showed really good speed, just got run down late by a dog by the name of Affluent. I just don't think there's as much depth in this novice contest. She should have the speed to cross and lead once again, and then from there, things should be extremely hard to run down.
All righty, so getting it early there tonight at Albion Park. Race 1, number 9, Sweetest of all. On to the second play.
Yeah, ex-WA runner here, race 3, number 5, Sky Manelli. We saw her break through in Queensland last start of a really terrific win in a small field. I think she meets a very similar field here. She's having her third start now over the staying trip. There's no reason why she won't continue to improve, and I think she's just going to get a lovely run behind 3 runners that are going to probably contest the lead and all look to maybe use the track later in the race. I think she'll get underneath them and streak away in the last 50 metres for another win. Yeah,
a bit of a rinse and repeat job from last week. We watched that race together, and you could just see a long way from home. Sky Manelli had a lap full, just needed the doors to open late, which they did, and romped in with a very impressive victory. It caved in last week. It may well do again tonight, to be honest. I think once punters take the time to have a look at this race and start doing some sectionals on how strong Sky Manelli is, you would expect her to pick them up late once again. Race 3, number 5, Sky Manelli. Does that see us out at Albion Park, or have you got one more?
One more. Race 12, number 2, Springtime Jet. Hopefully close the night out on a winning note at Albion Park. He's a dog that's shown terrific box speed in his last 2 starts from wide boxes. I think getting into an inside box will be very, very beneficial for this greyhound. Leader Hosen Boy in box 1 typically doesn't show a lot of speed, so I don't think there's any reason why he can't ping straight to the front, and then from there it should be a relatively easy watch. There isn't really a dog in this race that will run him down other than the dog in box 8, so maybe he's a dog you can either save on or play in Quinellas and trifectas and whatnot, but I think it looks to be a bit of a 2-dog race. I'm just happy to take the $3 mark for the leader.
I like it. Race 12, the Czech Rug Sprint Time Jet to get the job done. We head down to Tassie tonight, chasing there at Hobart.
Yeah, 2 players for me down in Hobart. Got to kick off in the feature race of the night, Grade 4 final. Race 5, number 3, Rupee Rebel. He was really good last week. He won from the red box in 25.77, which was the fastest time of the entire evening. He's a dog that looks to have really good upside. I think he's a dog we'll see contest races interstate in the not-too-distant future. Obviously finds a very similar race here, being a heat-and final. He's a dog that has great versatility, can come from off the speed, and he's got to be really strong and hard to hold out late.
You actually made the comment last week that this could be one of the more talented Tasmanian chasers that you've seen in some time. Yeah,
well, he's just a dog that's running times that replicate the likes of Raiders Guide and Fast Nardi when they were coming through the ranks. He's very, very strong in the run home, and yeah, he's just a dog. I think in time we'll probably see him up to the middle distance at Sandown in the Meadows, and hopefully he can take out a feature race similar to what those two dogs that I've just mentioned have done in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can live up to what those greyhounds have done, it's in for a very bright future. Race 5, number 3, Rupee Rebel, and the second of them?
Race 9, number 1, Seattle. Is a runner that will with 2 starts to go, and Rupee Rebel did get the better of him. He goes around here in the free-for-all race. He, most importantly for Seattle, gets back into an inside box draw. He's had 4 starts out of box 1 for 2 wins. Just with the box switch with Kadir Gold, he was obviously very good, the XWA runner last week, defeating Seattle home, but now comes out of box 8. Obviously, box 8 is probably more suitable for Kadir Gold, but I just think Seattle can race a bit closer to the speed, and Kadir Gold is known to, I guess, knock up in that last 50 metres. I think Seattle should be able to get the better of him, and they're putting up a very similar price for the pair, and I think Seattle should be outright favourite.
Fair enough. May well be by the time they jump tonight. Race 9, number 1, Seattle. Does that see us out there tonight down in Tassie?
Yes, that's me all done and dusted. Hopefully, of those 5 tips, a few of them can get up for the punters listening.
I'm sure they can. A handful tonight for our man Jason Campbell. Albion Park, race 1, number 9, race 3, number 5, race 12, number 2. And down there in Tassie at Hobart, race 5, number 3, Rupee Rebel, race 9, number 1, Seattle. Beautifully done, JC. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys, and look forward to teaming up with you again tomorrow for the Jet Set podcast.
Not a problem. Thank you, Shorty.
Cheers, JC. Jason Campbell with us this morning there. You can follow all of his work there, of course, on Twitter or X, and producing plenty of great content from the world of greyhound racing. We are 2.5 minutes away from the first race of the day here at Ballarat Punters. We will take that live here on TAB Radio. Currently, number 6, Barbie's Dream World, our $2.25 fixed odds favourite. Both sides now at $4.80. Effie Trinket is a $8 chance. Florence Island at 12. Rancelot 13. 16 for Broadhurst and Zima. Frosty Night at 18. 26 and upwards the rest. But let's catch up now with our Hall of Famer, Neil Brown, to have a look at chasing this evening at Sandown Park. Welcome to you, Neil. Nice to be catching up on this Thursday. How do we find you?
Yeah, good, David. Got an excellent card of racing. Highlight the Cranbourne Cup tonight and the Victoria Cup over the distance. So, looking forward to what looks a very competitive card, David.
Yeah, it certainly does. And the heats last week of that Cranbourne Cup were absolutely first class. Gee, there were some smart dogs on a parade, and we will get to see a tremendous final tonight. Let's see if we can make a start on your early quaddie tonight. First race number 1, comes up 2 minutes past 4 WA time, a mixed grade 6 and 7 over the 515 metres.
Yeah, I thought the 7 was the greyhound to beat here. I'm taking 7, 1 and 4. Just got that early pace, slightly raced. The second leg of the early quad, race number 2, mixed 6 and 7 final over the 515. I'm going 8, 3 and 2. Going to take those 3 greyhounds. Come to party in very good form. Again, a greyhound with plenty of early speed. I think it's the one to beat. Race number 3, a grade 5 here over the 515. Pretty keen about the red boxed runner here, Paul Oswald. I think it looks hard to beat from box number 1. Very smart win at Wendy Park a couple of starts ago. I'm going to take 6 and 2 as well. And in the last leg of the early quad, race number 4, pretty even sort of a race this over the 515, a grade 5. I'm taking 3, 4 and 6. I've got Willowbale on top. A good run here last week in an open race. I think it could be the winner, David. Do we want to continue, or do you want to throw to Ballarat?
There seem to be quite a few runners out still, so I think we can make at least a start on the main quaddie. Neil, I'll pull you up if I see them moving in nicely, but we can make at least a start on the main quaddie tonight. First leg, race number 5 should be a beauty as well here, punters that are looking to get involved. It's the mixed 4-5 over the 5.15. Matlock, our $2.10 favourite.
Yeah, I've gone with Matlock. I think I like the draw. Nice draw in 2. Very good solid run last week. He just got run down in pretty fast time. I think he'll be better for the run tonight. I think he's the dog to beat. Certainly chances to Greyhound 6 and 7. Heidi McGrath, first up on the track in New South Wales, but has heaps of ability. I think it's going to be a big chance in the race. And Zipping Minaj from box number 7 got a lot of cracking early speed, this greyhound, and I'm going to take it as well in the first league. Let's take 2, 6 and 7, David.
Very nice.
Victoria Cup.
Go ahead, Neil.
The Victoria Cup over the 7.15, always run in conjunction with the Cranbourne Cup for many, many years. Here, a special event. I've got a couple of scratchings, so the smallest field here with 2 and 7 coming out. I like 1, 5 and 8. Ethanol Water looks hard to beat. If we forget the Sydney Cup run, 41.65 winner here in very fast time. It's in good form. I think it can lead from box number 1 and be the greyhound to beat. Can you all close? Nothing wrong at all for Jess Hopkins. Racing really well. You've got to take it in the quaddie. And the 8, I think, Mapunga Surprise has got some claims in the race as well. Been racing okay. So 1, 5 and 8 in the second leg, the Victoria Cup over the distance. Moving to the third leg of the quaddie race, number 7, hot field here, the free for all. What do you make of it? There's a few chances in this. I've tipped Hector Fawley on top, mainly off his super record here at Sandown, both over the 5.15 and the 5.95. He's got 6 wins here. His form's okay, without sort of breaking through for a win for a few starts. I think he's a chance tonight. Tim Zoo, thought wide on the track. Form can be up and down, but he has got a big motor, the Australian Cup winner. And I think Bagman is the only greyhound in the race that's run 5 dead to the post. If he happened to come out, he might get a lead and be a bit of a chance. So I think you just throw him in the quaddie at big odds tonight. So 1, 8 and 7. It's in race number 7.
Neil, I'll step in there, mate. We've looked like we've got most of these runners in now for Ballarat. So we're 3 legs into the main quaddie with Neil Brown at Sandown. We'll head to Ballarat for the first of the day over the mile when we return the final leg of tonight's Sandown quaddie with Neil Brown.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where we're chatting to the great man Neil Brown on this Thursday morning. He's given us his early quaddie, 714-832-162-346, and we're into the main quaddie tonight there at Sandown, 267, leg 1, 158, leg 2, 187, leg 3, and we're focusing on the final leg of the quaddie tonight. It is the feature race on the program, the Group 2 Cranbourne Cup final over the 515 metres. Tab Touch Market has Flying Zulu at $4, Morton at $4.20, Smooth Plain, the Victorian Sprint representative at the Nationals at $4.80, Lakeview Emily at $4.80, Vincent Bale a $7 chance, Kingsley Bale at $8.50, Orley Bale, the reserve, gets a start from box number 6 as a $9 chance, and the $23 outsider, and you'd be mad to be leaving him out if you're playing trifectas and first fours, is the informed Fred Rose, who's a $23 chance. A cracking Cranbourne Cup final tonight there. Neil, what do you make of it?
That's a ripper race. I think the betting market there you just read out, David, reflects on how many chances there are in the race. You can't miss out on Freddie Rose. It's his second Cranbourne Cup. He ran third in the race last year behind Alpha Zulu, whose little brother Flying Zulu has got a big chance tonight. Yeah, look, I reckon it's as even as a big race as I've seen here at Sandown. I'm taking 7, 2, 4 and 3. I've got Morton on top. Was very, very impressive last week. He ran the best time of the night, 29.22. Come from box 6, so that doesn't seem to present too much of a problem if he begins like he can. And it's a good race. Flying Zulu, must respect the greyhound. He beautifully drawn in box number 2 tonight. He's a real star. He's won over 700,000 in prize money, nearly 800. Smooth Plain, as honest as they come. Love Sandown Park, got a good record here, 5-3 and 12. And Lakeview Emily, well, she has recorded a 4.99 to the first pick. So she does come out of her box humming most nights, and she could be a chance to lead this hot field. So it's a ripper race, a lot of chances. 7, 2, 4 and 3 for me. So looking for him in Cup race number 8 at Sandown. Looking at a couple of best bets, David, I thought it was pretty tough tonight. I went to race 3. It's a bit short for us at $2, but I think race 3, Poor Oswald, can lead all the way from box number 1. I really like the winning win, and I think it will take some beating, but it is short. And maybe race 10, each way number 5, Dishevelled. Got some early speed, might be able to lead. And then we're bidding about $4 at the moment. So race 10, number 5 each way, Dishevelled also to try and get home for us. So looking forward to it, David. I trust you enjoyed your time in Sydney last weekend, David, and what a terrific result the $1 million chase turned out to be, wasn't it? And,
spectacular.
I am well acquainted with the connections of the winner, having gone to Ireland with a couple of those boys. And do they know how to party, David? I'm sure you were aware of that.
I did, and one man in particular I'd like to send a shout-out to is Sandy from Jet Pets, who has been a wonderful man in our industry, Neil, for a very long period of time, making sure that our dogs have got from one part of this country to others, and indeed from state to state on the one way through. A lovely guy that I'd spoken to on a number of occasions, but to see him there pre-race, and I said to him, well, good things for good people, Sandy. You're in it, and you've got a better chance of winning it than I have. And after the race, he came over and gave me a big hug, and the smile on his face was just priceless. So congratulations to all of the crew, and a very special moment there for the Victorians on Friday night.
Yeah, I was delighted for Sandy, as you say, no better bloke in the caper, and Ben, his son-in-law, is a lovely bloke, and yeah, did I get into a bit of trouble in Ireland with in the crew with that with those two boys involved? But yeah, lovely guys, and just shows you what can happen in greyhound racing. It's always unexpected, isn't it, David? But,
it is.
What a great result!
Yeah, big
Fantastic.
result. Yeah, well done to Josh Formosa and all of the connections. And it just shows you don't have to have a massive kennel to be in with a sniff. You just keep turning up and doing your best, and while you've got a ticket in the draw, you're a chance, Brownie.
Absolutely, David, every time. So keep finding a pup, because you never know how good they're going to be.
That's the truth. Great catching up with you, Neil. Thank you for your time this morning here on Great Greys. Have a ripper weekend. Look forward to our chat next week.
Good on you, David. Thanks, mate.
There we have it. Neil Brown, our Hall of Famer here on A Great Greys. It has, of course, been a very busy time in greyhound racing right around this great nation, and Sean Matheson's been doing a great job over in SA. Matty, before I swing to Sean, did you have anything to clear there?
Yep, the interims are up at Ballarat. Both sides now $5.40, $1.80. Barbie's Dreamworld $1.04. Gimme at $6.10. $4.20 Quinella. $11.10 Exacta. 109.70 the trifecta, 1-6-16-11 first 4, 1634.20, sub of 6 with 5, 10, 17 and 18 scratch. Just wait for otherwise to come. Our next is in 9.
Beautifully done. Thank you, Matty, for that. Let's get across to Sean. Sean, welcome to Great Greys on this Thursday. How do we find you over there in SA?
Yeah, terrific, David. Yeah, great to be on the show again with you. Hopefully you enjoyed your time at the $1 Million Chase last weekend, and you're all fit and raring to go. I heard you talking to Brownie there, so no doubt you are.
Indeed, yeah. No, I've had a wonderful time. Thank you so much, Sean, and it was exceptional. It was tremendous to see such a healthy crowd at a greyhound track, and obviously the day after the Everest itself was just an amazing event. 50,000 people on track, so many of them in that 18 to 30 bracket, which is really unique at a racetrack these days. And from my perspective, Sean, and I'm sure yourself and so many of our other administrators and people that love racing around this great nation, what we're looking to always do is learn from events that are successful and what they're doing to bring the next generation of race goer along. And I couldn't put my finger on one particular part, but it was just a really welcoming day. Everyone was dressed up incredibly smart. There was the opportunity to stick around for a DJ after the last race, which was something that was really popular. And while the older part of the crowd left, most of the younger guys and girls stayed around, and that sort of helped to get rid of half the crowd, I guess, in an orderly manner before there was sort of a crazy amount of people trying to leave all at the same time. There was great accessibility to the actual industry themselves. So Craig Williams was spending some time with the kids and signing autographs and being very, very accessible sort of post-success there in the Everest on Saturday. But just all in all, it was a great event. It was more than just going to the races. It was a real event feel. Yeah,
I think New South Wales have to take great credit in that with both events, the $1 Million Chase and the Everest. Definitely, they're wonderful races in themselves, but they're targeted at a more mainstream, younger audience, and they're having fantastic results. And it resonates through the whole industry. I mean, any young people coming into any type of industry or being a part of it regenerates. People who've been doing the same thing for a long period of time, the older people, and it's a really good thing, and it ends up having a great vibe. So, New South Wales definitely have to be given plenty of credit for what they're doing, and there's no doubt the flow-on effects is for the other states in Australia that they can feed off of.
The opportunities are there, and so it's on the other side of the country from where I live. I'll absolutely declare that I had to pay over the odds for airfares, over the odds for accommodation, because everyone wants to be in town at the same time. But absolutely, I'm happy to put my hand up and say it's probably one of the best racing experiences I've had in my life, and I'll be happy to do it again in years to come. Like, it just shows you that I guess you put a price on a quality experience and something that money can't buy, and that is one of those things that if you're a racing lover and you can get to the track, the Sweet Carolina thing, I mean, to have 50,000 people up at once at a racetrack, and all generations getting around this song, and in the build up to the race, I was a bit sceptical heading in, but that was one of my favourite parts.
No, they do it well, and as I say, they've hit the right note with the right people. So long may it continue, and I'm sure it will continue to build on that. And hopefully, you see a lot of the initiatives popping up everywhere else across Australia, because it doesn't take an awful lot to the greatest form of flattery is copying what other people are doing. It's a great thing to do. So I think you can take bits and pieces for what they're doing and hopefully adapt it to your own racing code, track, or industry, and see how it can work.
Sure. The one thing I'd say is don't be scared to try things. And look, they're not all going to be a raging success, but in our caper and in greyhound racing especially, I think it's challenging times. It's tough. Sometimes we're all capable. We're all happy to sit back and see how things go. I think it's high time that a number of us now let's get out there and have a crack at some different things. And if they don't work out, then we can't be accused of not having a go. That would be my take on it, and hopefully that'll be the case heading forward right around this great nation, and we can keep the sport thriving in years to come. That's what has really come out of it too, the passion. When you have a night like that on Friday night, and I know it's the same with you guys when you have the Adelaide Cup Carnival and you get big crowds to the track, it really does reinvigorate your love and passion for the sport, and it shows how many people actually do care about it when you get these big crowds turning up. So let's hope it happens for many, many more years to come. That also sparks, though, from people having a punt and taking an interest through podcasts and programs like this. Sean, you've got a big following. Let's look after your listeners this week, see if we can't find them a winner or two.
Okay, we'll go to, obviously, Angle Park tonight. We've got 6 heats of the Lee Rogers series. And the first of the best bets will come up in race 4, and it's number 4, Dakota Mila for Colin Symes. This greyhound stepped up to 500 metres effectively for the first time last Thursday night. The race was late in the program. It was a wet track. She showed really good early speed to initially lead, then got dragged down on the first turn. It was a really messy race late in the race. She got through the pack to run third. Virtually don't disregard that. Her second run over 5:30 tonight Really perfect conditions here in Adelaide, and she has the speed to lead this race. Make no mistake, a lot of these, Shimmer Shine, Dakota Roxy, we know they have really good early speed, and she'll develop and she'll be quite good as she progresses up to 500 metres genuinely. But I think at this level, a grade 6 company, she can definitely get the job done. She'll lead, be really hard to beat. She's quoted about $4. I think that's a good bet to kick us off.
All righty, race 4, the Blue Rug Dakota Mila. On to the second of your plays.
The second comes up in the next race, and it's race 5, number 1, Kenya Striker for Tim Richards. This greyhound comes from Victoria with just very limited racing, only a handful of starts. Raced at Murray Bridge last week in what was a mixed event, effectively, and against some pretty handy dogs in Bookaloo, Minter Redeem, and the like. And he handled himself really well, won the race in 30-10 over the 5:30. First up at Murray Bridge. That's a pretty decent effort. Showed some okay early speed, but good mid-race, and just ran away from the opposition. So I think drawn box 1 tonight, quoted at 2:30, should get a beautiful run along the rails and really be too strong. Again, this is grade 6 company, so probably not as strong as what he beat first up. So I expect a big run from him.
Race 5, the Red Rug Kenya Striker, and the third of your plays tonight at Angle Park there, Sean?
The third of the plays, it is a night for, there's quite a few short price favourites. So I'm going to go a bit of value for the listeners in race 8, number 5, Amazed by You for Colin Symes, quoted at $34 at the moment. Now, there were heats last week of this race. It's a grade 5 bitches race. Heats last week. She ran third last week behind Dakota Ava, which we know she's probably at the top of all those Dakota dogs, and she's brilliant. She's drawn a bit wide, but she is short in the market. Amazed by You was a really good third run for Colin Symes. Not Colin Symes, Colin Swain last week. So it'll be fourth run in SA. Has been really hitting the line exceptionally well, and if she can come out a little bit better than normal, she's got Hot Lips, who's one of the favourites on her inside, might get a nice run across. She can lob, third or fourth. She's definitely one of the strongest dogs in the race, so I think she can run home pretty well into a placing. She needs a lot of luck to probably win, but at $34, I think you can sort of go a bit each way there. And if she wins, that was amazing. If she runs a place, then you definitely get a good dividend. All
righty, that's a play worth having, punters, at the big price. Race 8, number 5, Amazed by You, $34 each way on the fixed odds with Tab Touch, and $4.80 the place. In recap tonight there, Angle Park, race 4, number 4, Dakota Mila, race 5, number 1, Kenya Striker, race 8, number 5 is the value play at the $34, Amazed by You, race 8, number 5. They are moving in quite nicely here, punters, for race number 2 of the day at Hawkesbury over the 1,100 metres. The market, as it sits with Tab Touch, we front up to an odds-on favourite here, Tommy Berry aboard Hawker Hall, $1.75 out to 180. Lean to the Moon, $3.90 into $3.20. Rojas Stone's been easy, $3.60 to 6. Swift Gun Spect at longer odds, 23 to 12. Fast Blue, 34 and firm. All Too Wild, 14 out to 41. All other runners, 91 and upwards. They're moving in nicely here for race number 2 of the day at Hawkesbury. When we return, we'll get Sean Matheson's thoughts for the remainder of SA Chasing over this upcoming weekend.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where we're chatting to our South Australian correspondent, Sean Matheson. He's taken us through his Angle Park plays, and he's going to round it out with a look at Murray Bridge Friday, Angle Park Saturday, Gawler Sunday. Who do you like at those cards, Sean?
Thanks, David. Yeah, it's just at Murray Bridge tomorrow. So I like race 7, number 1, Daintree Pistol for Tony Heinrichsen. A good winner at Angle Park 2 runs ago in 30.99, leading throughout. No luck last start at Gawler. Drawn the red tomorrow, should lead and win. Not an overly strong event, so that should be getting the job done for us. On Saturday morning at Angle Park, the time-graded meeting, we're looking at race 10, number 5, Royal Melvie for Kevin Bewley. Again, a good winner 2 starts ago, 1979 over the 342. Ran 4th last start, found some bother, was going to push through and lead out of the back straight, but then copped some interference, ended up running 4th. It'll be definitely better for the run there and hopefully bounce back into the winners list. And then Gawler on Sunday, David, it's Gawler's main meeting for the year, which features the Group 3 Peter Kittle Toyota Gawler Cup, which will be race 8 on the program. And I'm going to throw out one of my best bets there, which will be number 1, Lone Rooster for Ben Rawlings. Ben's done a wonderful job. He's qualified 4 greyhounds for the final on Sunday night. But Lone Rooster was very impressive first up for his kennel. Coming across the board, I think, from New South Wales, running 30.50, improved by the run, drawn perfectly. Long haul on its outside will give him plenty of room. So expect him to push up, be extremely hard to beat there on Sunday night.
Race 8, number 1, Lone Rooster to round us out there at Gawler on a Sunday for their big Gold Cup program. Should be an absolute beauty. Tremendous catching up with you this morning, Sean. Appreciate your time as always. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next Thursday.
All right, David, we'll talk then.
There we have it. Sean Matheson taking us through his key plays for a busy few days in store across there in South Australia. Simon Orchard not far away from joining us to round out the program for today. He'll take us through some of the key programs and some of his better bets around the grounds over the next couple of days. Simon was also a big part of the team that put together the coverage of forthedogs.com.au on last Friday night's bumper program across there in New South Wales at Wentworth Park. He was good enough to take a bit of time to get away from all the autographs that he was signing and come and have a chat to myself and the train as well later on in the night. And he has been good enough to join us today here on A Great Greys. Simon Orchard, welcome to the program. Thank you very much for joining us today and taking a bit of time to come and have a chat after what was a very busy night there last Friday for $1 Million Chase night. It was great to meet you in person.
Yeah, g'day, Shorty, mate. I'm eager to learn where you ended up because when I saw you, mate, it was Fizz Central and you guys were ready to rip and tear after what was a massive night, wasn't it? Look, we know the $1 Million Chase captures the attention of the country. We really hope that a story like this bobs up and someone wins it who's not really the top end of town, because it really tells everyone that if you're a Josh Formosa or a Benny Pert or someone out there who's bought a dog for 10 grand, you can win the $1 Million Chase. So we couldn't have asked for a better finish. And the night itself, safe racing. We had some wonderful winners. We had some good WA flavour as well for all your listeners. I think it had everything, mate. But what did you think? I'm intrigued.
I had a wonderful time. It won't be the last time I head across to New South Wales for this weekend, Simon. I think I was just having a chat to Sean about it. Both events, to me, really captured the attention of the audience. There were lots of young people and families at both events, which I thought was really important for the next generation of racegoer, and just a really good quality racing program backed up by good facilities and a lot of people having a good time. And I think that was the recipe for success for both of those events. But well done to yourself and all the team there. It was an absolute privilege to be there last Friday night at the $1 Million Chase, and also to the coverage that yourself and the team there at thedogs.com.au put together. It was first class. Had a few mates at home watching on that said they really enjoyed the night, and they were found a few winners and had a good time of it as well. And that's something you do particularly well, Simon. So well done to yourself and the team.
I appreciate the kind words, mate. I think all aspects were a winner. We know wagering turnover was up. Attendance was great. I think people were having a good time, most importantly. And it was a pretty young crowd as well, Shorty, which I think that's what we need to see, right? Our demographic is an older one, and that's not a bad thing, but we want new generation and new blood into the sport. And people who were there on Friday, I think most would have walked away and thought, you know what, that was pretty bloody good, and next time I'm going to come back and bring a friend as well, which is what we want to see. So, I think it ticked a lot of boxes, and now we're in not a lull, but you're looking around searching for the next series of races. Thankfully, the Goulburn Cup heats are tomorrow, the Fireball as well. We've got a big race at Casino this afternoon, and then we steer into the first ever Mid-North Coast Cup at the new track at Taree. So that'll be the first feature race under lights. Heaps of that are next week as well, Shorty. So plenty to do. But yeah, the $1 Million Chase, a memorable one in 2024, that's for sure.
Certainly was. We're a little bit time poor, Simon, so I'll handball across to your good self and you can take us through your better plays over the next couple of days.
Yeah, of course. Look, the Pop Northfield Memorial Finals, the one I mentioned this afternoon, just after 5 o'clock Eastern Times. Race 7, jump on the 8. Olling, quick out, quick home. We know you need to lead at Casino to be a big chance, and I think it's deservedly the favourite in the Pop Northfield. So 7-8 at Casino this afternoon. If you want a best play at Wenty, 7-2 Zipping Mayor. getting a bit short now, but still odds on for Mini Finn. I think Zipping Mag can win. Dapto tonight, we've got some heat for the Middle Distance Championship. Aiden's Warrior, 7-4. Andy Lord told me to watch out for this dog when it gets over a trip. So 7-4, Aiden's Warrior, you can have a bet. And then if you want to go again, 9-1 might have been for Mini Finn. There's a bunch of this litter going around tonight, but I think they're the best of the pick tonight. And Goulburn tomorrow, if you want to have a play, 5-7 Nango Larry's my tip. But Anthony has a party. I spoke to him this morning. He loves Tattooed. So you can follow Tattooed if you like. But I like Nango Larry, 5-7, the best bet in tomorrow's Goulburn Cup heat, Shorty, and that's pretty much it for me. Haven't had a good look at Wenty on Saturday night yet, so I'm not going to lead you in there, but there's some tips hopefully to get you over the line in the next 2 days.
Beautifully done, Simon. Really appreciate your time, mate. Thanks for your wonderful hospitality there last Friday night, and as always, your time this morning here on Great Greys. Have a ripper weekend.
Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
There we have it, Simon Orchard with the latest in New South Wales chasing. That brings to a close our time today here on Great Greys. Thanks for your company. Big thanks to Matty McDermott, a lead as always this morning here, putting the program together. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning from just after 6:30 with the boys on the Sports Daily, chasing winners between 9 and 10, and the Jet Set podcast from about midday tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, Matty. Have a great Thursday, punters.